5 peas lived happily together inside a green pod, growing bigger and stronger as the days passed by. The pod turned from bright green to golden yellow, slowly drying under the warm, gentle summer sun. One beautiful sunny morning, a curious little boy discovered the pod hanging on the vine in his garden. He carefully picked it from the plant and held it in his small hand, examining the dried pod closely. The boy gently opened the pod with his fingers, revealing 5 round peas nestled safely inside their home. Each pea looked at the bright world outside for the very first time with wonder and great excitement. The boy smiled warmly as he observed the 5 peas, already thinking of something fun to do with them. The peas knew their amazing journey was about to begin, ready to leave their comfortable pod forever. The 5 peas gathered together one last time, sharing their dreams and wishes for the journey ahead. First pea spoke boldly, declaring it would fly the farthest and explore the wide world beyond them all. The second pea nodded eagerly, saying it too wanted to travel far and see amazing distant places. The third pea dreamed big, announcing it would fly straight up to the sun and touch the bright sky. The fourth pea spoke confidently, saying it would go wherever it pleased and make its own path freely. Fifth pea smiled gently and said whatever happens will happen, accepting its fate with humble grace, quietly. The other peas laughed at fifth pea's simple words, thinking it had no ambition or courage at all. But fifth pea remained calm and peaceful, knowing that sometimes the simplest path leads to something great. Little boy pulled out his pea shooter toy, loading the first pea carefully into the wooden barrel with care. He aimed high toward the sky, took a deep breath, and shot first pea flying fast into the distance. First pea soared through the air like a tiny rocket, disappearing far beyond the garden fence and trees. The second pea followed quickly, shooting out with great speed and vanishing into the distant horizon too. The third pea launched upward, toward the bright sun, flying higher and higher into the clear blue sky. But gravity pulled it down, eventually, and the third pea landed with a bounce on a nearby rooftop. The fourth pea shot sideways through the air, spinning and twirling before falling into a water gutter. Now only fifth pea remained, waiting patiently in little boy's hand for its turn to begin the journey ahead. Little boy loaded fifth pea into the pea shooter, aiming casually toward the old buildings across the narrow street. He pulled back and released, sending fifth pea flying gently through the warm afternoon air with grace. Fifth pea floated peacefully on the breeze, drifting softly toward a tall building with weathered wooden windows. It fell quietly downward, landing gently in a narrow crack between the window frame and the old sill. Fifth pea settled into a small patch of damp moss that had grown green in the shaded window corner. The warm afternoon sun began to shine through the dusty glass, casting golden light on the tiny pea. Fifth pea felt the moisture from the moss and the warmth from the sun, sensing new life beginning inside. As evening approached, fifth pea rested peacefully in its new home, ready to start a whole new chapter quietly. Inside the small attic room, sick girl lay weakly on her bed, her face pale and thin from illness. Mother sat beside her daughter's bed, gently wiping the girl's forehead with a damp cloth and worry. The attic was poor and simple, with slanted wooden ceiling and worn furniture scattered around the space. Sunlight streamed weakly through the dusty window, the only brightness in the dim, modest room each day. Sick girl stared at the ceiling with tired eyes, too weak to move much or play like other children. Mother held her daughter's small hand tenderly, speaking soft, comforting words, though her heart ached deeply inside. The room was filled with quiet sadness, yet the love between mother and daughter shone warmly bright. Despite their poverty and hardship, they had each other, and that bond gave them strength to continue on. Several days passed quietly, and Fifth Pea began to change, absorbing water and warmth from its mossy home. A tiny green sprout emerged from Fifth Pea, pushing through the shell and reaching toward the morning light. The small sprout grew taller each day, its delicate leaves unfolding slowly in the sunshine by the window. One morning, Sick Girl turned her head weakly and noticed a tiny green plant growing outside her window. Her tired eyes suddenly brightened with wonder and surprise, seeing new life appearing in such unexpected place. Mother noticed her daughter's changed expression and looked toward the window, discovering the small green sprout. A gentle smile appeared on Mother's face as she saw the plant, feeling a spark of hope warm her heart. Both mother and daughter watched the little sprout together, finding unexpected joy in this small, simple miracle. Days turned into weeks, and the pea plant grew stronger and taller, climbing upward along the window frame. Fresh green leaves appeared one after another, dancing gently in the breeze and bringing life to the window. The plant's vines curled around the old wooden frame gracefully, creating a beautiful, natural decoration outside the room. Each morning, Sick Girl would look eagerly toward the window to check on her special plant friend's progress. Her face showed more color and brightness now, and she began sitting up in bed to see the plant better. Mother watched with growing happiness as her daughter's health slowly improved along with the growing green plant. The small attic room felt different now, filled with fresh hope and gentle joy that hadn't existed before. Sick Girl smiled more often, talking softly to the plant as if it were a dear friend who understood her. As weeks passed by, Sick Girl grew stronger and healthier, able to sit up fully and move around more easily. She began eating better, and her pale cheeks slowly turned pink with renewed energy and returning vitality. Mother's worried face transformed into one of pure joy, seeing her beloved daughter recovering day after wonderful day. Sick Girl would spend hours by the window now, watching the pea plant grow and talking to it lovingly. The plant seemed to respond to her care, growing even more vigorously with beautiful green leaves everywhere now. Mother and Sick Girl watered the plant together carefully, sharing this special task as their daily joyful ritual. The bond between the girl and the plant grew deeper, like a true friendship that gave both strength. Hope had returned to the small attic room, filling every corner with warmth, light, and new possibilities ahead. One beautiful spring morning, something magical happened as tiny white buds appeared on the pea plant's vines beautifully. Sick Girl noticed them immediately and called out excitedly to Mother, pointing at the precious buds with pure delight. Over the next few days, the buds slowly opened, revealing delicate white pea flowers blooming in full glory. The flowers were small but perfect, their white petals catching the morning sunlight and glowing softly with beauty. Sick Girl was now completely healthy, able to stand by the window and care for the plant with gentle hands. She tended to each flower carefully, talking to them sweetly, and thanking the plant for being her true friend. Mother watched with tears of happiness in her eyes, grateful for the miracle that saved her precious daughter's life. The small attic room was now transformed into a place of light, flowers, hope, and complete, joyful happiness. Sick Girl was now fully recovered, playing happily by the window with a beautiful green pea plant flourishing beside her. She laughed and danced in the sunlight, her health completely restored, looking like a different child entirely now. Mother embraced her daughter warmly, both of them looking at the pea plant with deep gratitude and endless love. The humble fifth pea had accomplished something far greater than flying to the sun or traveling distant lands wide. It had brought hope, healing, and happiness to two people who needed it most in their darkest time. While the other peas pursued grand dreams, fifth pea had quietly fulfilled the most meaningful purpose of all hearts. The story teaches that true value lies not in great ambitions, but in simple acts that touch lives deeply. Sometimes the smallest seeds of kindness can grow into the most beautiful miracles that change everything forever completely.